Juliet, and we're postgraduate students here at the University of Queensland, and we're going to be talking to you about this beaded snake, which was made by Turkish prisoners of war in World War I. It is vibrant and colourful, intricately beaded and strikingly animated. These snakes were made as souvenirs, and they were sold to travelling soldiers, mostly from the British Armed Forces, but also from Australia and New Zealand, soldiers and nurses to send back to their families. And it's not that difficult to imagine an exotic item like this being revered and puppeted in sitting rooms on other sides of the world, but they are so much more than just a souvenir or toy. And when we peel back those layers of making and movement, an interesting history begins to uncoil. This type of art, which is made by prisoners of war, internees and soldiers, is called trench art, and even the name is imbued with a sense of patriotism, despair and of hope. We don't know a lot about Turkish makers of beaded snakes and other beadwork, but we do know that a lot of it came from British-run prisoner camps in Egypt, in Cyprus and in Greece. And a lot of the camps weren't prepared for the great influx of prisoners, and providing activities like craft was a way to show a bit of humanity against the enemy. These snakes quickly became a commodity. They became an income stream for Turkish prisoners. So they were then traded on transfer ships or with on-sellers in marketplaces. And it speaks then to that relationship that existed between the soldiers in the camps and with those on-sellers. But it also speaks to a sense of identity for the Turkish prisoners. So it was a way for them to champion their identity and practice cultural traditions while on foreign soils. This snake was bought in 1922 in Cape Helles, Gallipoli, and was donated to the museum in 1955 by Dr. John Bostic, who himself served in Gallipoli. And Dr. Bostic was a medical researcher and a psychiatrist who later went on to write papers on prisoner of war welfare. And you can find those papers here in the University of Queensland. It seems kind of poignant, we think, that this snake ended up in the doctor's care, even if only for a short time.
Turkish prisoner of war snakes predominantly had two major design shapes. So some examples you may find will feature the diamond design, but this particular design that you can see here is the zigzag. When we're looking at the beading, you can see that it has the colours of black, blue, white and red. But on close inspection of the object, you can see that the maker has to substitute out some of the whites for perhaps a lilac bead or some of the blue for a transparent jade. And what this speaks to is the acquisition of materials that perhaps the maker of this snake was unable to acquire exactly the right amount of beads in certain colours to complete this snake perfectly. When we're looking towards the inscriptions on this snake, on the back it says here, Souvenir 1918, but on the underside it tells its other story, which is Turkish prisoner 1918. And we know that 1918 is the particular year that this snake was made. When we're thinking about crochet itself, it's a long-standing tradition in Turkish culture. With the snake, it is a symbol in Turkish folklore as a kind of resilience, and even today it is said that a snake in the house is said to guard it. Another symbol of identity you can see here on the underside of the open mouth of the snake is this capital A. Some examples will show a triangle, whereas other examples do also have the capital A. And this could be symbolic of homage to Allah. It is in recognising these particular details that we start to realise the person behind the work and the belief systems that they may have carried. For the Turkish makers, Following World War I was further conflict and the formation of the Republic of Turkey, whose nationalist vision sort of pushed World War I prisoners into a kind of bygone era which left their narratives largely untold. Prisoner of war snakes are more than just the souvenir story. They're a symbol of conflict, of grief, of endurance and isolation. They carry memories and they can help to uncover histories and relationships from World War I and until now.